What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today we're gonna be doing a video on the top point guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. We're gonna be doing them on a tier list today, guys. I've just got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D, F, and then obviously we've got 43 players. So 6 tiers, 43 players. You guys do the math, about 7 players per tier. But at S tier, hopefully we're gonna take the DBG path and maybe only do 5. Honestly, guys, I might only do 3 at S tier just because I think there's 3 top tier point guards in the game before a large drop. Now, before I dive any further into this today, guys, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We're going to start off with Alex Caruso here. And if you guys know anything about me, you know I like Alex Caruso, okay? No money spent. He's been on my point guard. He's been my point guard for quite some time. Now, my question to you guys is Caruso better than most of the people on this list? And I think so. I think he is a B tier caliber player because I don't know if there's 20 better players on this list than Alex Caruso. Heck, I don't even know if there's 10 better players than Caruso. Caruso, 6'4", 6'5", wingspan, again, just can do it all on the court, especially as far as a perimeter defender. Decent release, quick dribble style. I like Alex Caruso quite a bit. Start off our list at B tier. Ben Simmons up next. And for Ben Simmons, it's pretty easy. S tier caliber for Mr. Ben Simmons. 6'11", 7-foot wingspan. Hot spots from everywhere on the court. Guys, he's literally perfect. Ben Simmons is literally as perfect as you can make him. The only kind of argument against Ben Simmons is he doesn't move that well, which, I mean, tall players just don't move that fluid in 2K. One of the best defensive players in the entire game, and just a two-way point guard that is a top 3 point guard in the entire game. Bradley Beal, I honestly think he's right in that Alex Caruso kind of range where it's like, whether you like Alex Caruso or Bradley Beal more, that's preference-based, but what I would say is this. I don't think either one of them are next level good. I mean, I got Bradley Beal on my no money spent account. Does he play over Caruso? I mean, I don't know. I never really had that debate because I have 2 newer point guards and better point guards in my opinion, but both the cards are fine. Whether you do like Alex Caruso or Bradley Beal more, I don't really care. I do think they both are B tier though, and another B tier player is Cade Cunningham. I mean, Cade might... No, I can't go B tier. I'm going to have to go A tier for Cade. Cade's better than Alex Caruso, guys. He is better than Bradley Beal. He's still that next level of good. Better on current gen than next gen, just because on current gen there's not quite as many great point guards in the game. You don't have a Luka Doncic, for example. Cade is good for really only one reason, and that's because he's 6'8". Movement-wise, not great. Jump shot 80, cool. Quick dribble, or jump shot 80 on quick is cool. Doesn't have quick dribble style, though, which hurts him. Again, one of the main reasons Cade is so high is because he's 6'8". And outside of that, I don't really love Cade Cunningham. Chris Paul, though, had his time in 2K. And I can't sit up here and talk to you guys and say Chris Paul is bad. He's just not next level good anymore. Again, card came out in March. I mean, did we get a Chris Paul earlier than March, though? I feel like we did January 28th. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we got one earlier than March. But overall, guys, he's solid. The problem is he's 6 feet tall. He's 6 feet tall, but he had a decent interior for his time to compete. Chris Paul honestly might get moved down, but for now, we got him at C tier. Clyde Drexler. I love Clyde Drexler. I think Clyde Drexler is really solid. But my thing for Mr. Clyde Drexler is this, okay? I do think Clyde's solid. I think he's overall a solid player in my team. But at that same time, guys, is he as good as Ben Simmons? Is he as good as my other top 2 guys? No, he's just simply not. Jump shot 5 on quick dribble style is awesome. But I just don't think I can put Clyde in that next tier of good. Because if I put Clyde in that next tier of good, it gets on a slippery slope. Clyde might get moved up. We'll have to see where the dust settles. But for now, I'm going to go A tier for Clyde. Our first F tier player is Damian Lillard. I'm sorry. I do not like Damian Lillard. And it's weird because I love the Ruby Dame for his time. But this Damian Lillard, I can't. And it doesn't make sense that this Dame is all the way down here and a guy like Chris Paul is C tier. That doesn't make sense. Although I do like Chris Paul, although I think Chris Paul is every bit as good as Dame, it just doesn't make sense. I'm going to meet in the middle and go D tier for both. I will say I've had a lot more success with Chris Paul than Damian Lillard, though. I'm just throwing that out there. Not to say Chris Paul is better than Dame, because he's objectively not. I know that, guys. I just do not like this Damian Lillard card at all. D'Angelo Russell up next, and I'm going A tier. You guys don't have to agree with this, but I'm going to ask you guys a question. Okay? Outside of height, what does Cade Cunningham do better than D'Angelo Russell? Short answer, nothing. He doesn't do anything better than D'Angelo Russell. And my thing is, even on the defensive end of the court, I think I'm taking D'Lo over a guy like Cade. And I'm going to go all the way to say this. Is Clyde Drexler that much better than D'Angelo Russell? Now, I think he's a little bit better. But I also think D'Angelo Russell is closer to Clyde Drexler than Clyde Drexler is closer to Ben Simmons. So it's just one of those things. It's really preference-based. But I love D'Angelo Russell. And I think, you know, when you compare him to some of these top cards, D'Lo is up there. I'm going to go A tier for D'Lo. David Thompson, I'm going to go B tier for. And I don't hate David Thompson. I respect him because jump shot 8's gotten better as times went on. But we got to make the case. David Thompson still has a 50 interior defense. And I mean, that's not going away. Still on the perimeter, he's going to defend fine. But is he better than Alex Caruso, Bradley Beal? I don't think so. I'm honestly going C tier for David Thompson. And I'm doing that, and I don't even mind David Thompson at all. It really just comes down to the fact that the interior is way, way low for my liking. DeMar DeRozan is a card. Is he better than David Thompson? I don't know, man. And it's one of those things. They both have a low interior. But it's one of these things. It's like DeMar DeRozan is at least 6'7", while David Thompson's better enough on the defensive end of the court. I feel like this, guys, if I put David Thompson in C tier, DeMar DeRozan's got to be C tier. And I used to hate DeMar DeRozan. As times went on, I've been like, okay, DeMar's okay. But as more time goes on, I'm just not very high on DeMar DeRozan at all. Next up, Dark Matter, Derrick Rose. I think he's the epitome of a B tier point guard in 2K. I don't love him, but if you don't like Derrick Rose, I want to know why. He's better than Damian Lillard. It's not close. He's got quick dribble style, the D-Rose combo, which is tough. Kobe size of escape, which I definitely do like. A quick release on very quick, which makes it even better. I think when you're talking about it, Derrick Rose has got to be a B tier point guard over the guys at C tier and D tier. I want to know, is there an F tier point guard on my list? I'm doing it, guys. I'm doing it. And I don't know if you guys are going to like this. This card is horrible. This card is horrible. You want to know why? His release, the slowest on this list, probably. He can't move. And defensively, he's mid. And I mean, you guys may be like, well, he's better than Chris Paul, Dame. Chris Paul and Damian Lillard, at least offensively, give you a little bit more. I'm sorry. Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, is F tier. Now, D-Wade. Oh my goodness, do I love Dwayne Wade in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. I literally love this card. 6'4", 6'10", wingspan, hotspots from 4 to 5 places around the arc. Great defensively, great offensively, quick dribble style, Kobe size of escape, D-Wade based on quick, which is easy to green. The most underrated card for his time that I think we've gotten all year long. Now I'm saying that and I mean that. I mean, 2 months later, a month and a half later, I'm still in love with this Dwayne Wade card, who was a buyout from literally day one, if I remember correctly. Gary Payton for this time and era. Is he B tier? I mean, where do I put Gary Payton for this time and era? I don't know. I think I can't go B tier. I gotta go C tier. Why is Gary Payton C tier, you guys might ask? He's really good defensively, you're right, but he's got jump shot 40 on normal timing. Shift dribble style, Kobe size of escape, Scotty behind the back. Oh, that's awesome. But he's not as good as Caruso. He's not as good as Beal, and he's definitely not as good as Derrick Rose. So it's just one of those things. I don't think I can be any higher on the card. Bonga up next, and I'm not in love with Bonga for today's game. Why am I not in love with Bonga? Well, because Bonga did one thing well, and that was being 6'8". But that time is came, and that time is went. I mean, Bonga for today's game is just not very good. Can't really move too well. He's a D tier, in my opinion. Dark Matter, Ja Morant, another C tier point guard. Now, I got to respect it. Ja Morant hooped. He hooped in game 2. But do I think he is next level good? Objectively, no. He's fine. And if you guys run Ja Morant, that is fine. I just personally do not love the Paul George pace. I think when it comes down to it, the The reason I don't like and run Ja Morant has a lot to do with that Paul George base. I just don't love it, especially on my point guards. Jalen Brunson up next. We're going to talk about this one. Is Jalen Brunson as good as a guy like Chris Paul? That's what I want to talk about, because I don't necessarily know. And it does look like Jalen Brunson is a little worse than CP3. I'm going to put him at the same tier because badge-wise, he's going to be a little bit better. I just don't love Jalen Brunson in 2K. I really do not. I don't like him at all. I played with him a little bit, played with his release. I just was not the biggest fan of him. Jalen Green up next. Now, I know a lot of people, when Jalen Green came out, they liked. I never really liked this card. 45 interior. I mean, goodness gracious. I get it. Jump shot. He got quick dribble style. Kobe size of escape. Jump shot 95. Still going D tier. It just doesn't do enough for me on the court. Jalen Rose does, though. I still, to this day, think Jalen Rose is fine in 2K. But throw him right in that Gary Payton tier. He's fine. He's 6'8", right? I'm too high on Cade. I'm too high on Cade. Look, I'm way too high on Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is better than Jalen Rose, but 2 tiers separating them is just crazy. He is not that much better than a guy like... he's not on the same stratosphere as D'Lo or Dwayne Wade. It's just that simple. Jalen Rose, though. I mean, the card is solid. 2K gave Swaggy a hard time for running Jalen Rose, but he had quick dribble style, smooth enough release. I don't mind Jalen Rose at all, especially if you get a solid Jalen Rose. James Harden, I'm going to put it that C tier as well. I do think James Harden's on the lower end of C tier. But still to this day, guys, Harden's got good enough interior. Movement-wise is fine. It comes down to his release is just too slow. That's really all it comes down to. If Harden had a faster release, he'd be way higher on this list. Just a pretty slow release in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. Up next, Jason Williams. Look, guys, I get it. Jason Williams is a fun card to use. He is, right? Glitch Jason Williams is fine. 35 strength, can't rebound, really low interior. I mean, I don't know. Jump shot 3 on quick, though. It's like, I said really low interior, but it's not. It's really just the strength. I'm going to go D tier. Why is he D tier? Because you can have some success with Jason Williams. On the offensive end, guys, you can have some success with Jason Williams. John Wall up next. And with all due respect, I like John Wall. We might have to move some tiers around. We really might have to move some tiers around. I don't have enough people in these upper tiers. John Wall is good, and I'm gonna move some people around. Jalen Rose is a guy I'm gonna move up, and I kind of want to move one player up. I'm gonna move Ja up. I don't love Ja, but I think he is the best player at C tier that we had remaining. Jalen Rose is solid too, but John Wall, that's who we're talking about. I've played some wagers and stuff with John Wall on my No Money Spent. Now, he was fine. The problem is his interior is just a little low for my liking. But as far as on the offensive end of the court, he's fine. He definitely can hold it down for you guys. Jordan Poole up next. He's not very good in 2K. I'm going to throw him at C tier because, I mean, objectively, he is probably C tier and he might even be better than C tier. It's just one of those things that's like, I don't love his release. I'm going to have to move Jordan Poole up, though. I don't love his release, but he's still B tier. It's just quite honestly that simple, and I'm going to move Cade back up, and I might move... No, I mean, Cade belongs more to A tier. It's just... It's that simple. He belongs to A tier. Josh Giddey up next. I mean, he's at the top of A tier, if not S tier. Josh Giddey is a card not a lot of people are talking about, but the reason not a lot of people are talking about him is because I feel like everybody that has Josh Giddey uses him wrong. You gotta use him like Ben Simmons. And it sounds so weird to say, but it's the truth. Defensively, this card is elite. I mean, it's that simple. He's really good at 6'8" on the defense end of the court. Offensively, he's not great. Scotty behind the back, shifty dribble style, J-skid base on very quick. He's not that primary ball handler. If you run Josh Giddey, you got to run a secondary ball handler. But man, do I love Josh Giddey, and I'm very, very high on the card. Kyrie Irving. At this stage of the game, is he F tier? I don't know. I mean, I still feel like Kyrie can decently hold it down. The card's just not very good. I'm sorry, I'm putting him in F tier. I'm sorry. If you love Kyrie Irving, I'm sorry. I'm putting him in F tier. Lonzo Ball up next. Another C tier card, right where James Harden is. It's just, it pains me to put Cade Cunningham 2 tiers above them. I'm not going to. I refuse to. I can't put Cade Cunningham 2 tiers above James Harden and Lonzo Ball. I would say the difference between B tier and C tier isn't, I mean, there's a difference there. I like my tiers right now. I really do. It just might be a lower tier heavy set, but it is what it is. I gotta do my best to give you guys an accurate representation. Lonzo still on the defensive end is going to be incredible. Offensively, just has that slow release, pretty similar to James Harden. Luka Doncic, S tier. And there's really no questioning this one. I mean, especially if you're on next gen, he's S tier. Current gen, probably A tier is where I'd go with him, but on next gen, he's literally a top 2 point guard in the game. So easy S tier. Nearly impossible to contest Luka Doncic's release. Easy S tier. Matt Calvin, I mean, look, I don't know the first thing about Matt Calvin, and I'm not going to try to know the first thing about him. What I will say is this: his release is solid, quick dribble style, Kobe size of escape. Scotty Van der Beek, he's not F tier. I mean, he's not. He's better than Kyrie Russ. I'm going to go D tier with him. He's 6 feet tall, guys. If you love him, cool, but he is D tier. Magic Johnson, I'm going B tier. A lot of people might want Magic Johnson in A tier, and I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Magic Johnson is solid enough in 2K, but until he can move or until he gets a better release, I mean, his release isn't horrible. It's more so his movement. I mean, he's not nearly as good as Josh Giddey, and it's that simple. Magic's still solid for B tier, but he's not that next level good. And another B tier player is Manu Ginobili. I hate putting this many players in B tier, but it's that simple. I don't think he's as good as Dwayne Wade. I don't think he's as good as Clyde Drexler, D'Angelo Russell. But I do like Manu Ginobili, and I respect him. He just would have to be a little bit better on that defensive end of the court if I was to be any higher on the card. Marcus Smart, talk about a card who I am really high on. It's this Marcus Smart card. And if you want a card that's close to being an A tier, it's him. I mean, Marcus Smart is close to being in that A tier. I mean, he really is. And here's the problem, okay? A lot of people are gonna look at Marcus Smart and they're gonna be like this. Well, he's not that good offensively. But look at the defense of Marcus Smart. Absolutely ridiculous defensively. I do think Marcus Smart is good enough to be A tier. As good as D-Wade, D'Angelo Russell, no, he's at the lower end of B tier, but he's better than Caruso, better than Bradley Beal, and I'm taking him over a guy like Manu Ginobili. MJ, pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy, S tier. I mean, it's pretty easy. I like my tiers here. MJ, literally probably on both ends of the court, on both gens. If you consider both gens, he probably is the best point guard in the game right now. It's just simply, it's just that simple. I mean, objectively, if you look at both gens combined, he is that good. Oscar, I'm going B tier with Oscar Robertson. Similar to Manu Ginobili, right? Can do a lot on the court, is very solid on the court, but he's just not that next tier good. A lot of those metamorphosis players you guys are seeing going in that same tier, but it is what it is. I don't think I'm as high on those cards. Patrick Beverley, I love you, man. I love you with everything I have, Patrick Beverley. And I mean that when I'm saying that. You're literally an off-brand Marcus Smart, but the problem is you're an off-brand Marcus Smart. I mean, that's the problem with the card. Marcus Smart's way taller than you. Marcus Smart's better than you. Marcus, it's just not even close. I'm sorry. Patrick Beverley's not worthless, though. He's going to get it done in the defensive end of the court. Paul Arizin is not bad in my team, and I think he's good enough to put it B tier. Now, I will say I think Paul is better on current gen than next gen, but look at his stats. 85 interior, 95 perimeter, good defense, good offensively. I think he's underrated massively in 2K. Just a better version, a way better version of this Diamond Jalen Green. Pistol Pete Maravich, I do not like. A lot of people like Pistol Pete Maravich. I'm not one of them, though. What is this card doing for you on the court? Not much. I mean, really slow Ray Allen base. Not a great defensive player. I'm sorry, Pistol Pete's not even C tier. Rudy Fernandez, I do think is a C tier caliber player. A card I picked up on my no money spent for a little while. But he's not as good as Manu. But he's not as good as a guy like Oscar. He's just that tier below. Now, if you need a really budget point guard and he is as cheap as he used to be, Rudy Fernandez is definitely a solid option, especially at 6'6". We only got 6 more to get through. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not very good. I mean, he provides some height for you on the court, which I get at 6'6", but that's basically it. Defensively, he's horrible. His release is not good. I don't know if you're asking me right now who I'm taking, Bonga or Shai. I don't know the answer to that question. I really just don't. Steph Curry, he is better than these guys at D tier overall. He is. I'm going to put Steph Curry in C tier. Now, that's not me sitting here saying Steph Curry's elite, but I do think he's better than some of the guys we've covered. An absolute cheese ball in 2K. And I should just start a Steph Curry series in which I just fry with him. I just cook with Steph Curry because that'd be a challenge for me and it would be decently fun. Trae Young, I mean, he's not horrible, guys. I'm not saying Trae Young is good either, so don't twist my words, but he is not horrible, right? Especially if you're on current gen, I think he's a little bit better. Quick dribble style, all that Trae's dribble 6. I'm throwing him in C tier. Now, maybe that's too high for Trae Young, but I think he's better than everybody at that D tier. Tyrese Maxey is not good in my team. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, what, Ty? He's fine. He's not very good, though. He's not very good. He is better than F tier, though. And I mean, when it breaks down to it, he's probably C tier. And that's saying a lot. But a lot of these newer cards, when I say they're not good, they're compared to some of the newer cards that we've just gotten. Objectively speaking, though, Tyrese Maxey is not bad. Good enough in tier. And if you want to use the card, you definitely can. Victor Oladipo up next. I've underrated Victor Oladipo for too long, and I'm not going to do it again. Okay, 6'4", 6'9", wingspan, really solid defender. Does come with quick dribble style. I think he's solid, man. Jump shot 95 on quick. I think he's very, very similar to Paul Arizin. Last but certainly not least, Zach LaVine. Easy addition into A tier. People, if they don't run MJ or their second point guard on current gen, they run Zach LaVine. Now, that's one if you can't afford MJ, if you can't afford Ben, LaVine's your next best option in my opinion. 6'5", 6'8" wingspan. Just a really solid overall card. I'll never say I love Zach LaVine. I think he's fine in 2K. Zach LaVine base on very quick. I, again, just don't think he is that next level of good. So I only have 3 people at S tier, 6 people at A tier. But I think there is a gap between A tier and B tier. And I'm going to keep that gap. I really am. I have a lot of people in B and C tiers. But I like this. I don't love overloading the top tiers because I think it really gets crammed at those tiers if you do indeed do that. So how I'm ranking them, obviously the top 3, then the next 6. If there is a player I'd move up to A tier, it probably would end up being Cade Cunningham. But it would be, it's just something I do not ultimately want to do. But that is going to wrap it up for my point guard tier list today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video, guys. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, man, I love you guys. And have a blessed day.